Also here in Washington, D.C., several ministers and heads of the Reserve Bank from 13 South and East African countries are gathering ahead of this week's World Bank and IMF annual meetings. Africa 54's Ndimiake Mwakaliele has our report.
Many have hailed Africa's economic growth as signs of the continent's long-awaited turnaround. The continent's finance and economic leaders say the growth is not an accident. Uganda's Finance Minister Maria Kiwanuka says her country's economy, growing at 6% annually, is sustainable.
We put in macroeconomic stability measures. We had a very open market attitude to investors, both foreign and domestic. In a way, I think we benefited from the opening up of the economy.
Minister Kiwanuka is among several delegates from Africa in Washington ahead of the annual World Bank and IMF meetings. They're meeting as members of MEFMI, or the Macroeconomic and Financial Management Institute of Eastern and Southern Africa, a grouping of 13 countries. Elias Galande is the executive director of the Harare-based MEFMI.
It's a training institute, if you like, which trains professionals on hands-on experiences with how to manage economies, how to deal with sovereign debt issues and banking issues. That's why we have central bank governors and ministers of finance present here.
Minister Mwaketsi Majoro of the landlocked Kingdom of Lesotho says while small, his country is sustaining its economy by leveraging on its key products and competing internationally.
Lesotho is a leading African exporter under AGOA to the US. Many of the garments that you wear here, you may not check, but the stamps would say made in Lesotho. Lesotho also has diamonds.
Another major diamond producer is Zimbabwe. However, the country's economy, while improving, still suffers from skepticism by investors due to its politics. Permanent Secretary Willard Manungo in the Finance Ministry says until the country can fairly sell diamonds and other precious minerals on the world market, its economic growth will suffer.
That's an area where we've had challenges with regards to the issue of ensuring that the international community supports Zimbabwe with regards to removal of sanctions on the marketing of Zimbabwe's diamonds. Similarly with gold, we would want to see more value addition in Zimbabwe, ensuring that our own Fidelity refinery does more in terms of refining our gold.
As many African countries strive to compete on a global scale, many are careful to avoid being caught up in crises like the last economic downturn that affected many Western nations. The ministers say they're working to strengthen local and regional partnerships for domestic growth.
What we did do was to change our focus from the traditional export markets of Europe, the Middle East, even the USA, and say, let us concentrate on staple food exports to the region, East Africa region.
Well, we will do this by investing harder and more strongly in commercial agriculture, one, by transforming the textile sector to diversify it from only the US markets, but to Europe and other Africa where we have the same trade preferences that we have under AGOA in the US.
Ndimiake Mwakaliele, VOA News.